Hi, I'm Denise. I'm here today to go over lesson 2 with you from pre-K to middle school. This is September week 2 lessons. I'm going to the learning modules on Musicplay Online, and I'm going to start with pre-K, and we'll go over what we have in pre-K lesson 2. Introduction is here. We're going to review a little bit from last week, and supporting resources that you might need, the letter A printing page if you want to do it, are here. So we always start every lesson with time for music, clap your hands, and as this is the second time that you're doing it with the kids, you might want to extend it now by asking the kids where else could they keep the beat. Time for music, pat your head, or time for music, pat your nose. The animal warm-up is the same as last week's. Meow, meow, just to experiment with different kinds of voices, high and low voices, and getting them to experiment with that head voice level. We have a beat keeping activity, and this is me doing a little bit of Mozart in a grade 1 class. And as you can see, I'm just keeping the beat. They were a little behind. When I go to the head, now they're in time. And you can take the same piece of music, turn the video off, and just have your students keep the beat and follow along with it. Now we're going into instruments. What instruments do you have in your music classroom? And I've pictured a bunch of them here. You might talk about the instruments and what they're called and how they're played. If I do the little beat chant, beat, beat, feel the beat, say hello to those you meet, I might introduce with some of the instruments and talk about their names then. But if you haven't yet, here's an opportunity to talk about instruments. When you give out instruments to the kids, one of the easiest things to do is to have the little ones shut their eyes, and you give those instruments out as fast as you can. Then you say, when they've all got them in front of them, open up your eyes, and then you do play the instruments quickly, 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 play the instruments quickly, quickly, stop. And find somebody who did stop and praise them for stopping right away the next time everybody stops. Play the instrument slowly, slowly, slowly. Play the instrument slowly, slowly, stop. And the first time you do this, I would suggest doing it on sticks or maybe on a little hand drum, because they do stop more readily than do jingle bells or tambourines. But this gives kids concept review, and it's classroom management. They get to explore the instrument immediately. That's what kids want to do when you give them instruments. They want to play. Then we do the play and stop song, and this is lots of fun. Whatever instruments you've given out, play and stop. On, and it goes different tempos. There's a space, a fermata in there, a rest, and it's deliberately different lengths, so the kids start to anticipate when it's going to come again. They get really excited about it. Here's play your instruments with Bach, and I demonstrate some different ways that you might play the instruments. 1, 2, 3, 4 is a little finger play. 1, 2, 3, 4. Meet me at the kitchen door. 5, 6, 7, 8, hurry, don't be late. And then we do it in different types of voices. 1, 2, 3, 4, meet me at the kitchen door. Or we might try a shouting voice. 1, 2, 3, 4, meet me at the kitchen door. And if you try different voices with the kids, they will learn whisper voice, speaking voice, shouting voice, and singing voice. For singing voice, I just make up a little melody. 1, 2, 3, 4, meet me at the kitchen door. 5, 6, 7, 8, hurry, don't be late. You can make up whatever melody you like. And then there's an interactive activity for types of voices. So we'll do the first 2 lines in a whisper voice, the next 2 lines in a shouting voice. And we have thinking voice in here because in Texas, a 5th kind of voice is the thinking voice. Inner hearing audiation is what it is. And if you get tired of that poem, there's more poems that you can try. Sing the ABCs. We have The letter Z is for our American friends. The letter Z is for our Canadian friends. We have a different way of saying the last letter of the alphabet in Canada. Then a review. 3 little fishies swimming in the sea. Along came a hungry shark, quiet as can be. So much fun. Kids love that. And then short letter A says, ah, ah, ah. We review that. We review alligator alarm, ah! And they love that song too. The monkey climbing in the tree is the next review song from last week. And it shows the movements if you haven't made them up already yourself. And then we do shake and shake and shake it together. Another movement song. Keep moving as much as you can, and really good beat practice with this. And a kid's demo of it if you need a little assistance in thinking of ideas. And then we end with skinnamarink-a-dinky-dink, skinnamarink-a-doo. I love you. Use the videos as much or as little as you need. You can use the video support if you need it, but if you don't need the video support, just turn your screen off, keep it on your computer, and just sort of follow along so that you can keep track of what's coming next in the lesson. So that was Pre-K Lesson 2. I'm going on now to Kindergarten Lesson 2 for September Week 2. And again, our intro, we have some review, and we have some I can statements. So kindergartens have the welcome song, Welcome to School. It's an echo. You just have to play the song, and the kids do the echo. Kindergartens will like the animal sounds as well. Meow, meow. And kindergartens also need to review the instruments, especially if they haven't had pre-K with you in the school. This is a new idea for them. So go over the instruments with the students. Choose one instrument that you have a class set of. I would typically say rhythm sticks or egg shakers are really good to use the first time, and most teachers will have a class set of those instruments. If for some reason you don't, use body percussion, clap, pat, or stamp. Little ones typically can't snap. So go over the instruments with them, tell them what they are, how they make their sounds, show them all the instruments you have in your classroom. And when you give the instruments out, give them out to the kindergartens with their eyes shut. And when you open the eyes, you do the chant. Play the instruments quickly, quickly, quickly. Play the instruments quickly, quickly. Stop. And praise the ones who do right away. The play and stop song is here for the kindergartens as well. If they're new to you, it's new to them. If they had it in pre-K, it's a long time ago in the life of a kindergartner, and they can use it for review. And if they loved it last year, they're going to love it this year again. Here's find ways to keep the beat with Vivace. So I would use instruments, I would use body percussion, I would use different ways of keeping the beat, and invite the children to suggest ways. If I just had instruments out, I would use instruments in this. Now we have the poem in kindergarten. This is my speaking voice. This is my speaking voice. This is my speaking voice. The kids echo. I use it every day. I use it every day. This is my whisper voice. This is my whisper. It's quieter this way. It's quieter this way. This is my shouting voice. It sounds like a fight. Sounds like a fight. This is my singing voice. It sounds just right. And the kids would sing that. That's a great poem. I've used it for years and years, and the kids really understand the voice types after that. I would teach the same poem as in pre-K. 1, 2, 3, 4. Meet me at the kitchen door. 5, 6, 7, 8. Hurry, don't be late. And you can either do it with posters, as I did in this pre-K class that's in the demo. I used posters because they had no technology in that classroom. Or you can use the interactive if you do have the technology. And again, in this interactive, you'll choose 2 kinds of voices, and the kids will say them. There are lots of additional poems if you want to try a different poem. I love Jelly in the Bowl. Jelly in the bowl, wibble wobble, jelly in the bowl. So I might whisper some, and then I might sing it and make up a melody for it again. A Smile Goes a Long, Long Way is a new song for them, and you can make up movements to go with it. I've never done choreography for this one other than a smile goes a long, long way. A smile goes a long, long way. It starts with an S right here, and it's a mile to the other ear, and it's cute for kids. And we have a wonderful performance by Colegio Menor from Ecuador who did it. And these are all ESL students, and they did just a wonderful job of performing that. Then we have some review songs, the Count and Go song, Get Them Up, Get Them Moving. The Join Into the Game song, again, up and moving, create new verses. You've got to sing, and again, get them up, get them moving, create new verses for them. And here's accompaniment track only, so you can create your own verses with that. And then I'm ending kindergartens with Skinnamarink-a-dink-a-dink, as well as the pre-K. So that's kindergarten, lesson 2, September, week 2. Here comes grade 1. Grade 1, lesson 2 for September, week 2. And I love the Doobie Doobie Doo. I've moved Choo Choo Train up right below Doobie Doo because it's my big concept song for this lesson. So Doobie Doo is like a warm-up. I love it. Kids love it, and it's fun to do. And then I would go right into the Choo Choo Train song. One addition that I've done this year that I didn't do in previous years was I've added the music. So music specialists, if your grade 1 students come in and they can read ti-ti-ta, ti-ti-ta, have them read the rhythms. We have 3 ways to teach songs. By rote, I sing, you sing. By reading, I read the rhythms, and then I read the solfege, or I read the pitch letter names if that's what you do. And the 3rd way is immersion. Doobie Doobie Doo is one I've always taught just by immersion. I just put it on and we do the movements with it. Choo Choo Train, for me, would be a reading song. If my students are not reading, and very often my grade 1s would not be reading TTs and TAs or SOs and me's at this point of the year, then I would teach it by rote, and I would simply prepare them to read it later on in the year. So you use it either as preparation for reading or as a reading song, whichever way you do it. And then we have a recording of Choo Choo Train, which is a lovely little recording. For those non-specialists or substitutes, the recordings are golden. And then we have a video that shows how to play the game. This is a follow the leader game. And this leader is just walking. She couldn't think of anything else to do. And now that leader goes to the end of the line, and the new leader is stomping. So typically, I would give every child in the class a turn to be leader, even if they do the same thing twice. I only have one rule, only one runner and only one jumper per class, because I get too tired. I typically always play the games with the kids. Keeps you young. Now, we have the point to the beats in the Choo Choo Train song. And again, this is a multi-level activity. Take the kids as far as you want with it. If you do all these activities, this is your whole lesson. If you want to just do some of the beat activities for now and come back and do the other activities on another day, that's fine too. So the first one is point to the beat as you sing the song, choo choo train, choo choo train. The next one is an interactive beat chart. And I can ask the kids to put those beats in their heads. They're going to audiate those beats. Inner hearing is another word for it. So you sing this out loud, this is in your head, and they still point to the beats as they do it. Choo choo train, choo choo train. Choo choo train, choo choo train. Whoo, whoo, stop. So you can keep going through these activities if you have time and if you want to. This is clapping the words. Rhythm is the way the words go. This is switching between beat and rhythm. I can either pat the beat or I can have them step the beat while they sing. Choo choo train, choo choo train. And I switch to this. Copy me, just do the same. Choo choo train, choo choo train. Woo, woo, stop. And I would switch back and forth between beat and rhythm. This is an assessment. If they think it's playing the beat, tap their hearts. If they think it's playing the rhythm, clap the words. You play it. Ready, go. And I think that's the beat. And I was right. So you can do that, and it should randomize and be beat sometimes. Again, you have to determine if your kids are ready, if they understand the difference between beat and rhythm, and if they do and they're solid, ask them to clap the first 4 beats of the song and sing. Choo-choo train, choo-choo train. Ask them, how many sounds on a beat is choo-choo? It's 2 sounds. So I put 1 train up there. Train, 1 sound. Choo-choo train. And you can keep going. If they're ready, you can label 2 sounds on a beat is TT, 1 sound on a beat is ta. And this is a creating activity. I would make up word rhythm patterns to use as a B section. I'd sing the song as a theme and this as a B section. And I could do choo-choo train, chugga, chugga, choo, choo, chugga, choo, chugga, choo. That could be my B section. Another group of kids might do it differently. And if your kids are ready, you can try doing some notes with them. So this can really extend your lesson a long ways. You know where your students are at. If beat is all you want to cover in this lesson, just do beat. Then we go into a review of Mountaintop Monster. I love that song, and it's really good for practicing high and low sounds. Teeny tiny monster is a high sound. Great big monster is a low sound. And there's a picture if you want to have them color that and practice high and low. And then we have, these are Grandma's glasses. This is Grandma's hat. This is the way she folds her hands and puts them in her lap. That's all in a high voice. Now in the low voice, these are Grandpa's glasses. This is Grandpa's hat. This is the way he folds his arms and then he takes a nap. Kids like that poem. This is to do fast and slow, and it's a movement song. We've had lots of sitting. Now it's time to go up and move. And it goes slow, medium, fast to try those 3 different tempos. Here's a demo of it. And then you could, if you wish to, play the fast slow game where kids identify if the music is fast or it's slow. Here we have a performer playing Wild Donkeys. And then you ask the kids, is that fast or is that slow? There's a listening map of Wild Donkeys. And then we have the music time is over. So that's the end of lesson 2 for grade 1, September week 2. Grade 2 is up next. Grade 2, oops, I'm in the song list. Learning modules instead. Here's grade 2 in the learning modules. And grade 2 lesson 2, September week 2. Again, I really like this lesson. There's a lot in it. If you have 2 lessons in the week, you'll have lots for both your lessons. If you only have 1 lesson in your week, you might have to leave some things out. But we start with, welcome to music, glad you're here, and so on. And then we have Carrie Lynn teaching us about beat, how beat is the pulse in the music. And it's a very cute little video with her little friend that helps them to learn about beat. Then we have a body percussion play along. This is new this year. I didn't have it last year. And again, we only ask the kids to clap, pat, or stamp, because even in grade 2, a lot of kids can't snap. I can't snap with my left hand. I can only snap with my right. The engine number 9. Now we're in grade 2, and my grade 2s should be able to read the TTs and the TAs and the SOs and me's. If not, you use it to prepare. This is very much the same game as Choo Choo Train, and it's played the same way. So here's the engine song. Here's the beat and rhythm activities. Oh, the kids demo disappeared. I will put that back because there should be a kids demo here for teaching people who don't know how to play engine number 9. The beat and rhythm activities are the same for engine number 9 as they are for Choo Choo Train. Just the words have changed. The next one is look at this one. Okay, point to the beat. Interactive beat chart, I can turn off and have kids audiate those beats. Clap the words. Beat and rhythm switch game. Is the drum playing? Assessment, beat or rhythm. You can do that without the slide. I would just take the drum, and for engine number 9, am I playing the rhythm or the beat? If you think it's the rhythm, do that along with me. If you think it's the beat, tap your heart. What am I doing this time? I was playing the beat. Another activity that you can do, second grade does this well, is give half the kids in your class sticks on one side, the other half hand drums on the other side. And you do the beat rhythm switch game now with the instruments. Have this side play the beat, and when you hold up the rhythm card, the stick players would play the rhythm of the song. And if they get really good at doing it separately, try them playing at the same time, and then switch. Have the sticks play the beat and the drums play the rhythm. Here's again, is it one sound or two? Two sounds, one sound. Label the notes. Two sounds on a beat is TT. One sound on a beat is ta, or do, day, and do, whatever names you use. Here's the same chugga-chew rhythm. I actually really like this one. I've done this lots with kids. Or create a new 8-beat rhythm pattern. So much this, very similar activities to what's in grade 1 with engine. And then we have a new game, Hill, Hill, Come Over the Hill. And this introduces half notes for the first time. And again, I might not label half notes at this time of the year. I might come back to it later on, play the game again, and label the half notes. But there's 2 half notes here. It's only a So Me song, so if your kids are reading So and Me, have them sing it in Solfège. The game itself is fun. This is a great outside game, especially putting them between the goal posts of a soccer field. And it's fun to play. I'll let you see a little bit of this one. We sing the song. And then I have to tag. And if I get one, they become my helper. 2 of us are singing. And both of us each try to tag one runner. And then there becomes at least 3, but maybe 4 runners. Poor Little Bug on the Wall is a cute little one. Somebody said there's no bug on the wall, but he does come into the picture as the video goes on. And it's a cute one. If you have instruments out or instruments with the kids, have them play the beat along with it. First time they hear it, and then you can come back and teach the song by rote. And here's a performance of Poor Little Bug on the Wall. It's cute. I performed this one year, and it goes, poor little bug on the wall. And on the slap, slap part, I had gotten fly swatters for my kids, funny colored ones at IKEA. And they used their fly swatter as a color instrument during the rests. Poor little bug on the wall, slap, slap. And the kids thought that was fun. Canadians will review O Canada, or teach it to the students if they don't know it. And for Americans, you sing My Country 'Tis of Thee, and then the music time is over. And that's our grade 2, lesson 2 for September, week 2. Lots of 2s. I'm on to grade 3. And grade 3, lesson 2, September, week 2. Reviews, I like singing. And if you made the kazoos, hopefully the kids still have them and can play kazoos along with them. Here's our objectives. That really was fun. And if you didn't make the kazoos in the first week, maybe the kids have brought in the toilet paper holders and you just have to supply elastic bands and some wax paper, and it really does work. You can watch the video for proof. Number concentration. This is new this year. I didn't have it in there last year, but now we know that most schools, I'd say 99%, are back in person, and so name games are really important. So this one, again, it's a reading song, and your clue that it's a reading song is that little staff up there. So it's only do, mi, so. So my grade 3s should be able to read it in solfa. They should be able to read those rhythms. And what you do with the students in your class, you number them off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many students you have, and then you sing, and you sing a number, and they sing back their name. You don't have to know their names.
Don't forget your number, don't forget your name. When you're ready, start the game. 18 jacks and 3 blacks, 5, 8 and 6, Jack, 10 and 13, Olivia, 14, Carly.
So we had some really lovely little singers in that class. Olivia was actually on Canada's Got Talent when she was 12, so that wasn't long before that she came and sang for us. So we're going to learn the song Mrs. Tong, and we've changed a few words in Mrs. Tong so that it has a more positive focus rather than a negative focus. And again, we've given you the notation so you can teach reading or you can teach it by rote, whichever is your choice. If you prefer to simply teach by using the video, you can do that as well. And I often use the pause button and have the kids sing back.
Mrs. Tong sang a song, high and loud and awfully long.
Pause and sing back, or even do it one measure at a time, because this is a little tricky.
Sang so sweet, kept the beat.
Pause, sang so sweet, kept the beat. And then we changed ugly feet to pretty feet, so it's a little bit nicer. Plainsies Clapsies. This is one of the kids' all-time favorite songs. This one to me, again, little staff here, reading song. I would have them read the rhythms, and it's so, la, and mi, so they should be able to read the solfege, and then you do it with beanbags. I have suggested here specialists use this to introduce the song. Non-specialists or subs can use the video to introduce the song. And here is a demo video of how you play it. So here's how you do this one. You toss it up, plainsies, clapsies, twirl around to backsies, right hand, left hand, toss it high, toss it low. Here's the hard part. Touch your knee, touch your toe, touch your heel, and through you go. And I've practiced that lots, and I'm pretty good at it. The kids in the video were very proud of themselves, and there's some solos in it because they wanted to show how well they had learned it. They could do it without dropping the beanbag. Here's name the solfa notes in Plainsies Clapsies. All of the solfa activities are self-correcting. So if I hit a wrong note, it won't let me continue. I lost a star. But as long as I get to the end of the solfa activity with at least 1 star, I get a positive reward. So, so, la, so, so, mi, so, so, la, la, so, mi. And I got 4 stars. If I don't do too well, I might only get 1 star dropping down. Here is the same beat and rhythm activities for Plainsies Clapsies. If your kids aren't reading those rhythms, or you have some students that have moved into your program and you're not sure where they're at, here you can use the activity. And is it 1 sound or 2? Plain, 1 sound. Sees, clap, sees, twirl, oh, that's different. 2 sounds. So you can use it to catch up students that have just moved in. This is a review from week 1. I didn't miss the homework and I didn't miss the tests, but I'm glad I'm back at school. And I know my teacher friends are really quite exhausted. And I'm sure you're happy being back at school, but also, oh, did I ever need that long weekend last weekend? So that's grade 3's lesson 2, September week 2. what do I have in grade 4 for lesson 2? And I've got a review of This Little Light of Mine, a review of the Jolly Rhythm game, and we're going to learn a new song called Good Morning. This is again new this year. It wasn't in the lessons last year. So This Little Light of Mine, sing-along song, very familiar to many children, and it's good just to sort of get them singing and not being afraid of singing. Jolly Rhythm, let's get the rhythm, the jolly, jolly rhythm. In this one also, you have to number the kids off, and you just do the numbers. I almost think number concentration is better if you don't know the names of the kids. So you might want to play the number concentration game from grade 3 with the 4s as well. In fact, maybe I should even change that in here. Here is the Good Morning song, and for grade 4s, this should be a reading song. It only uses so, me, do, and it only uses ta, tt, and rest. My grade 4s should be able to read that, and if they don't, I may go back and do some review with them to catch them up quickly. There is an ORF arrangement for this song. So what have I suggested here? Sing, read the song. Music specialists can teach the song from the notation. Now this is an if, because some teachers have a full set of ORF instruments, some teachers don't. If you have ORF instruments, you might want to teach the ORF arrangement. If you don't, you could teach some of the ostinato parts on body percussion and transfer to unpitched. How would I do that? Okay, for example, bass xylophone part. I would play it on the bass xylophone, C and G, da, da, da. I could play that ostinato on the drum instead. Ta, sh, ta, sh, ta, 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 sh, ta, sh, ta, sh. Sing the song. Good morning, how are you today? Time to sing, time to learn, always time to play. If they get good at one ostinato part, give them a second part and use whatever instruments you have available. If you're in a small school with not much, you just use whatever you can. Instead of the alto xylophone part, I'm going to use my shaker. Rest, ta, rest, ta, rest, rest, ta. And then I would have 2 ostinato patterns going at the same time. If I had a really good class, I might add the hand drum part, and I already used my drums, so I'm going to use sticks for my hand drum part. Ta, ta, ta. Shh, shh. And you can always add words to help kids with ostinato parts. Bass xylophone part, I often say good, good, morning's good. For the alto part, I often use the word not. So the basses say good, not, morning's good, not. And this one, go away, let me sleep in. 2, 3, 4. Go away, let me sleep in. And this one here, I often just say fill in the rests at the end. And we'd go from a snap to maybe something like a triangle. Ding, ding. Again, if you have ORF instruments, teach the ORF parts. If you don't have ORF instruments, you can still teach those ostinatos on body percussion or on instruments. There's a singing game that goes with this, and this one is fun. I quite enjoy it. And an optional idea, if you want to extend this lesson, is to have students create a B section. My name's Denise, and I like to read. And then whoever I'm playing with and facing in the game would introduce themselves. My name is Jason, and I like to bike. So that is demonstrated here. There is actually, I'm going to pull up another window. On Musicplay Online, in units, we have an ORF directory. And in this ORF directory is going to go a video I made of a full process of teaching the Good Morning song. It's not here yet, but as soon as I finish adding the captions to that video, it will go up and into this area. So if you're new to teaching ORF instruments, maybe have a look at it, because I think it will be helpful. It was the wonderful teachers in Cheyenne, Wyoming, the Wyoming AOSA chapter, that helped me create that video to show teachers how to use ORF process. And it was actually a really wonderful video. 25 minutes. With teachers, it goes fast. With kids, it's going to take you an hour and a half to do the same thing. Good morning. From Good Morning, we're going to go on to the song Chester. And to introduce Chester, we're going to practice some rhythm reading at different tempos. And this is a really fun activity. You might want to just do largo, moderato, allegro. If you want to review with the kids what those tempos are, click on Teaching Slides. And it shows you what those terms mean. And then we can do the pattern largo, and it'll play largo. 2, ready, go. That's too slow for me. I want to go presto. I love that tempo interactive. If you're looking for it and you're not in a lesson, it's in the toolbox under concepts. So Chester, very, very good little game and reading song. So we're going to read it first with letter names, if you do pitch letter names. You can skip this if you want and just go right on to the song, and it's fun. So here's the movements I do.
Chester, have you heard about Harry? Just got back from the army. I hear he knows how to wear a rose. Hip, hip, hooray for the army.
I'm gonna stand up. We're gonna do it a little faster.
Chester, have you heard about Harry? Just got back from the army. I hear he knows how to wear a rose. Hip, hip, hooray for the army.
And then it goes faster. Now I'm going allegro.
Chester, have you heard about Harry? Just got back from the army. I hear he knows how to wear a rose. Hip, hip, hooray for the army.
And then we're going to go presto.
Chester, have you heard about Harry? Just got back from the army. I hear he knows how to wear a rose. Hip, hip, hooray for the army.
I really enjoy that. My kids always enjoyed it. Here's a class demonstrating it. This is not my class, and they did a great job of it. And here is, again, the tempo tool. So that is a great lesson for 4th grade. We've covered a lot of concepts in one lesson. What does 5th grade have? September, week 2, lesson 2, 5th grade. We're going to do a chant. Boom, chicka, boom. Boom, chicka, boom. Boom, chicka, rocka, chicka, boom. Boom, chicka, rocka, chicka, boom. I like to do an ostinato with this. Boom, chicka, boom. Boom, chicka, boom. Boom, chicka, rocka, chicka, boom. Or you can have your kids create another ostinato another ostinato pattern to do with it. All right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. One more time. A little bit slower. So there's lots of concepts in this particular little chant. It's cute. Review names of the kids in your classes with the concentration game. And again, this wasn't here last year, but I feel that it's a really good game for learning the names of the kids in your class, and you get to hear a baseline of how well they match pitch, and that gives you some idea of where they can move to. We're going to learn a little bit about Vivaldi, and then we're going to do a play-along, and this is a lovely animated play-along with pat or clap, pat, or you give out 2 kinds of instruments. And what I would have the kids do, I would play 1 instrument on the forte parts, 1 instrument on the piano parts. I'm going to see if I can do both and do a little bit of this. to carry on doing 2 instruments at the same time, but divide your class into 2 groups. Have one play the loud, have one play the quiet, maybe switch parts. They get the rhythm reading at different tempos as well. So they've reviewed dynamics. Now they get to review tempo. And if you haven't finished the staff lesson, there's a link to complete the staff lesson that you started in week 1. And here are some of the really, really fun note name games. Coconut Chaos is just one of my favorites. And I've done it this week so that you go and you can choose what level you want. And Mama Don't Allow, that was the one that they did with spoons last week. And so you can do it with spoons if you have the spoons. If not, you could play instruments along with it. A new rhythm game, Rhythm Racer, is really fun. And so you can do this new rhythm game with your students if you have enough time. This is a review of Little Tommy Tinker. If they've done it last week and they've been successful last week, this week, maybe try 3 parts, not just 2 parts in the round. And it's a good reading song again. Here's demo of the movements. The clinker was supposedly a coal that rolled out of the fireplace, and when little Tommy Tinker sat on it, it hurt. So little Tommy Tinker sat upon a clinker, he began to cry, Ma, Ma, poor little innocent guy. And I like doing the movements. It seems to help them find their pitches. It's a good way to help them find pitches. So that's grade 5, lesson 2, second week of September. I'm going now to grade 6 or middle school. You can use this for 6, 7s, or 8s. There's a lot of material in middle school. So middle school lesson 2, I have done some changes and some additions to this. So I added circle name game, and this is the one where you just go like this, pat, pat, out, and you say your names around the circle. You can go faster, you can go slower, you can get kids to name places or favorite food or a favorite book, a favorite movie, and I like to go around the circle with whatever their favorite is. What's my favorite movie? I can't even think of one right now. I watched a really good one about Verona, Italy on Netflix the other night, so that might be a fun one. But I'm sure your kids will have better memories of their movies than I do. Can you keep a steady beat? A fun game to play around the circle just to practice keeping a steady beat, and then you do some substitution for the words, which makes it more challenging. They did the song Barges last week. You can review the song, but I would, again, be aware of what your kids' likes and dislikes are. If you've got a middle school class that's really reluctant singers, I might skip Barges and go on instead to the 7s activities. And this is a video where I demonstrate how to do it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you pat 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the video is there, and it's really fun if you can do it with a pop song. So I've seen a class do it with this particular song, and it's a really, really good song. Is it going to play for me? It could not be loaded. It's not letting me do it. I'll have to make a new link for that. But any pop song with clean words and steady beat and regular phrases is going to work with the 7s pattern. It's just fun. Here I have Mango Walk, which has a really nice ORF arrangement. Again, if you've got ORF instruments and a well-equipped classroom, teach the ORF arrangement. If you don't, teach the ostinato parts on unpitched instruments. So this, again, as far as I'm concerned, could be a reading song. Maybe grade 6s could do that. Ti-ta might be a hard rhythm for them. Ti-ta, ti-ta, ta, depending on who's had them for 4th and 5th. That may or may not be a reading song for your students. I created an ostinato and did a play along, and I did it with pool noodle scrapers, but you could do anything that you want. And here, I would suggest you have the kids write their own. So put them into groups of 4, have the group of 4 choose an instrument and write their ostinato, and then have each group take a turn to play their ostinato. Maybe try the whole song with all the different ostinatos. Here is the ORF arrangement for it. And this is a link to the ORF arrangement. You can see it's 6 pages long. So it's going to be a tricky one. This is a challenging ORF arrangement. It is not an easy one. It's going to have some 1-5 in here. This is a Judy Sills arrangement, and her arrangements are challenging, but you know what? Her grade 6s were very capable of doing this. So if you want a challenge and you've got your ORF levels, there is a great ORF arrangement for you to do with middle schools. If you want to skip Mango Walk altogether, you could instead do the round, Why Shouldn't My Car? And you can teach it using the solfa note highlights. And here's the round with the music. And here's reading the note names for it. And if I hadn't done note names with the grade 6s, I maybe would use this as a review. So that's the learning modules from pre-K to middle school for September week 1. Thanks for sharing this time with me.